Hello, hello, my lovelies. Welcome to Soul Work Reading. I am your reader, and today we will be doing a mirror work reading. What I like about mirror work readings is that it really forces you to evaluate yourself and what's going on in your life in the moment and what you need to work on. And that is actually the message that I have been getting constantly this week and actually since last week. So I decided that that's obviously what my first video needed to be on. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, this is basically it's not them, it's you reading. So this is going to help you figure out or help you dig deeper inside yourself to see what it is that you need to work on instead of constantly blaming everyone else around you or your environment or other things. Now, we all know that sometimes there are other factors that do contribute to different choices we have to make in life. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about the people who constantly self-sabotage and then play victim. So you know who you are. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. If there's something that does apply, you can sip or you can spit, whatever the case may be. So I'm actually going to be using my Oracle cards for this because what I love about Oracle cards and why I mainly do Oracle readings is they aren't negative. They essentially guide you in the right direction without making you feel like crap at the same time. So no matter how harsh the question is or how harsh the message is that you need to receive, it's done in a tactful way. And that is why I love using Oracle cards, because it could go either way. I could pull a card and it could be the most positive card in the world, but for somebody, it might mean like, damn, I really need to get my shit together. So that's why I'll be using these, and I'll be using these probably in the majority of my videos. So, but yes, for the very first question, the very first card, we are going to look at what is going on inside of you right now. What is it that's going on inside of you right now that is causing your situation? Radiate your light. So radiate your light could be, are you living your truth right now? Because if you're not living your truth, then that's a problem. And this is one of those situations where sometimes we might say it's somebody else's fault they were not living your truth. You know, you could be in a situation where you were a teenage parent and you didn't get to go to college, and now you're much older and you're wishing that you could have gone to college. You know, you aren't speaking your truth. You have every right to speak your truth, but at some point you have to look inside of you and figure out what you need to do to get it done. So radiate your light. Whatever it is, you need to let it shine, and you need to let the people around you know, this is what's going to happen. This is me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. So that's what's going on inside of you right in this moment. Next, we're going to take a look at what's going on around you. What external factors are contributing to you, to your situation, or to making you feel the way you do? You know, for a lot of us, that could be a lot of different things. And sometimes we can control those factors, sometimes we can't. I'm hoping whatever this is, that it will be something that you can control. And if it's not, you know, maybe we can work through it and figure out how you can get a handle of it. So what is going on right now outside of your little bubble in your outer world that is causing this stress or causing you to not be able to radiate your light or speak your truth? Kindred support. Wow. And this one is probably going to smack a lot of people in the face. You don't have the support you need. Now, how many of us have been in a situation where there's something that we need to get done and that we want to get done, but we don't have the support? I know I can raise my hand. For instance, going back to the teenage parent, I was not a teenage parent. However, I did have a child in my early 20s, and there were things that I wanted to do as far as finishing school or being able to travel, to have different intern experiences while I was in school that I wasn't able to, that I didn't have the support that I needed. Compared to some of my other friends who might have been single parents and their parents were able to help them. Obviously it's gotten better along the years, but for somebody right now does not have the support that they need. And it's not always just family. Some of us have friends that are just like family. So this is what you're missing and what's adding more stress and is causing you not to be able to radiate your light. So kindred support and radiating your light. Next thing, so let's look at how your life will change once you get the things that you need. So how will your inner workings change once you are able to radiate your light, aka speak your truth? How will things for you begin to change? Because we all hope that once we are living in our truth, that people will begin to accept it and we'll be a lot happier. It's not always going to be that way, but that's what we hope. And that's what we're hoping, that the cards will show that things will start to move for us in a more positive direction. No matter what happens, it's a good time to bring up that, to always remember that people in our lives are like the seasons, and seasons come and go. We don't need to keep every single person in our life through every single season. Some people are only meant to be there for the fall. Some people are supposed to last 3 to 4 winters. Others may not make it out of summer, and that's perfectly okay. We just have to learn to recognize that, and we have to be okay with letting them go. A lot of times we aren't okay with letting them go, and we allow somebody who's not meant to remain in our season overstay their welcome, and a lot of times that can be what causes you to lose the kindred support and not allow you to speak your truth. But once we get those things aligned, our inner workings will begin to look like this. Create your reality. Once things are aligned perfectly, or not perfect, I don't want to say perfectly. Once you have things aligned where you need to be, the people in place in your life that you need to be, you will be able to create the life that you want and the life that you're ready to live. And you'll be able to shine your light the way you want to, without fear and without stress. This is most important. Create your reality. This is telling you that you are in charge of your destiny. All you have to do is make sure all of the right players are in your life, and that you're able to first move past any hurt or anger that you may have had. You have to forgive this. You have to walk away from this. As long as this is messed up, you won't be able to get here. So this is how your inner workings will be. Once things are aligned for you, your outside circle, the bubble around you, outside world around you, sorry, I hope that makes sense, things will start to look up there for you as well. And let's see how that is going to look. And I feel my cards wanting to just like dump a whole handful out. And, you know, sometimes it can get very overwhelming. So you'll see me keep shuffling, because when a bunch of cards fall out, it can mean varying things. And not all messages are straightforward. But we don't want to overwhelm people with messages either. So once your outside is fixed, you will then be able to elevate your mind. So what does it mean to elevate your mind? You may begin to network with better people. You may be able to bring other people into your life. You'll be able to think clear. You'll be able to see the forest for the trees. When your inside and your outside are aligned, when you start to create the life that you want for the inside, everything on the outside is going to start to look great as well. These two go hand in hand. They probably, you couldn't pick couldn't have a better answer, in all honesty, for what will happen if you start realizing that you need to reevaluate you and your life and stop blaming everybody else for what's going on. When you start to accept personal responsibility and kind of throw a little bit more accountability on yourself, look at what happens. You'll be able to create the reality that you need, and you'll be able to elevate your mind. So just because you haven't been able to radiate your light or have the support that you needed, because for all we know for this situation, you may not have had the support that you needed because of something that you did. Now that's something to think about also. You weren't able to radiate. You might have been stalled from radiating your light because of something that you did. You held yourself back here. No one can ever force you to not speak your truth. Now there can be people like parents or whoever, they may not agree with something or whether it's a lifestyle choice or whatever the case may be, but that still does not stop you from speaking your truth. Only you can do that. Now, if you speaking your truth during that time is what led to not having the kindred support, all I can say is, well, therapy. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. But this is what's going on. And for a lot of us, and I'm going back to this card because right now I feel like somebody is watching this who will be watching this, who will be in tears seeing this. Trust me, I've been there. We all want somebody to love us and to support us, especially when it's our family. And it doesn't always happen that way. This is where the kind of turns into ridding your life of toxic people. Because if you're not receiving your kindred support because they're toxic, that could also be another reason why you're not being able to radiate your light, and why you weren't allowed to speak your truth. And there's so many people who crave that family, that support, because they see everybody else around them has it, and that's just something that they want. But sweetheart, honey, ma'am, sir, whoever you are, it is okay to move on from this. If you aren't getting the support you need, and I know this started off, the message was supposed to be something that you're doing that's causing your life to be the way it is, but look at it this way. If you're keeping toxic people in your life who aren't serving a purpose and who aren't making you happy, yes, you're going to be stagnant. Yes, that is your doing. Their actions may be one thing, but you allowing that actions into your space and allowing it to affect your energy is something totally different. And you can't allow that. You can't allow that to happen. It's not worth it. This is where you used to be. You used to not be able to radiate your light. You used to not have that kindred support. We want you to be able to create the reality that you want. We want you to be able to elevate your mind. Think deeper, think higher. This right here, these two here, will be how you get to the level of happiness that you want. Now, I'm telling you all this, and your question is probably, fine, great, 100% agree, totally understand that, but how do I get from A and B to C? Well, from A and B to C and D. There has to be something in the middle. What do I need to do to get there? And that answer is going to be different from a lot of people, because right now I honestly feel the cards are telling me different things. And I'm feeling different things. That's just not always going to be a one size fits all. So, for one person, in order for you, so for somebody out there right now, you have to learn to love yourself. You probably have gotten stagnant and jaded just from this. This is a tough situation, but there's no excuse. And I hate to even say it that way, but there's no excuse not to love yourself. We all need to learn to love ourselves. We'll never be good for anybody or anything until we conquer this. And this, for somebody out there, for quite a few people, is going to be their biggest hurdle. So love yourself so that you'll be able to get to this side. Somebody else needs to sit back and think about how blessed and highly favored they are, how much of a miracle they are to somebody else. You are a bright spot in somebody else's life. You need to internalize this. You need to remember this. It does not matter what else happened or what else is going on. Somebody somewhere out there loves you. You are the world to them. And that is what you need to know, and that is what you need to remember to keep going to get to where you need to be. It might be a parent out there, a single parent or a married couple who might be struggling with bills and who just don't know what to do, who might be thinking about doing something dreadful. Don't. Think about this. Somebody somewhere loves you. They love you more than life itself. This is what you need to remember. This needs to be your motivation to get over here to create the reality that you want. If you want that bigger house, if you want that better job, if you want that college diploma, whoever this is, that's your miracle. They need you. They are depending on you. You cannot let them down. I mean it. You cannot let them down. So I'm hoping whoever this is, I hope you see this, and I hope you realize that somebody, you are just absolutely precious to somebody. And whoever it is, you need to find them and hug them and let them know that you are there and you will be there and that you can get through this. All right, next is present moment. Someone has, for somebody right now in this moment, right in front of them, there's something you need to get rid of. Whatever it is that's with you in this present moment is stopping you from getting here. They're an unhealthy distraction and they need to go. If they're not sitting right there in front of you, it could be the last person you talked to on the phone. It could be a job that's distracting you from, or or position within your job that's distracting you from becoming, from you. It's a difference between a job and a career. You might be in a position right now that will not help elevate you to the career that you want. If you are loading boxes off of a truck, but you know how to organize deliveries, you have routes mapped out, you know every system in the warehouse, what goes where, vendors, who, whatever the case may be, you might need to go from warehouse guy to operations or warehouse manager, somewhere in there. Whatever it is, something isn't serving its purpose and it's not going to help you to get to this level, and you need to figure out what it is. If you're laying in bed right now, that person could be right next to you, and hopefully you don't have headphones on so they can hear this message and take a hint, just in case you're not comfortable with telling them. Whoever you aren't serving that person any purpose in their life. You need to pack your stuff and go. That's all there is to it. So I really, really urge whomever this is to just look at your surroundings, look at what's going on in your life in the present moment, and decide, is it a distraction? Is this distraction the reason why I am the way I am? Remember, I said that, and I'm going to keep going back to this. I keep saying that this reading it's not them, it's you. I mentioned earlier sometimes that we keep people in our life for a season. We allow people to overstay their season. We allow people to overstay their welcome in our lives, in our hearts, in their minds. We let some people live rent-free in our heads. That's our doing. It doesn't matter what they did. Our reaction to it is what matters. If you go to work every day knowing good and doggone well you don't like the job, but that you need a job to make money, well, have you started looking for another one? Ask yourself that question. And if you have been looking for another one and you aren't making any progress with it, have you talked to somebody to figure out what it is that you're missing? Are you missing a skill set? There's so many free courses online through Coursera. Bank of America had a women's thing that they did through, I think, Carnegie Mellon that you could sign up for. There are ways that you can enhance your skills. You can get a job coach. I know that all of that stuff costs free. However, the internet currently is, if we all have the internet, you can search right now what it is that you need to do to get your skill set up in that present moment that's holding you back. Doesn't matter, holding you back from getting where you need to be. So I'm just going to hop on to this last one. Oh, mindful creation. Somebody needs to realize this, while this is where you need to be, this is your end game, but this isn't what you need to worry about. It's this. It's what did I do to get from here to over here? And how can I use that story to help somebody else? For someone out there, your journey is more important than your destination. For someone out there, where you've been, the hell that you've been through, the heartache that you've been through, the sadness, the depression that you've been through, is going to help somebody else be able to skip all of this and already start right here, or easily jump into this right here to get over here. Sorry, I held those backwards. To get over here. Your story, mindful creation, your story from here can potentially save somebody's life and allow them to get over here. And I don't know who you are. We all have a story. We all have been somewhere, but for somebody, somewhere, everything that you've been through is so powerful that your ending is already written in stone. Your ending is already going to happen. You don't have to worry about your ending. You have been blessed. You have been favored. This is where you're going to end up, no matter what. At this point, this is where you start to encourage others. And honestly, for whoever this may be, it might not be easy. And you're going to need time to think about it. You might not be ready to share what happened here. Because remember, I said it's not always them, it's you. Some people have done some things that they're embarrassed of, that they're ashamed of, and that they don't want to talk about. And that's perfectly fine. You talk about it whenever you're ready. But just be encouraged and just know that your story is what's going to help so many other people get over here. It's going to help so many other people avoid that agony and that heartache and those same mistakes. Because I can tell you from experience that a lot of times when we sit back and we start reflecting on the mistakes that that we've made, we lose all of the shame and everything that comes along with it. Once you sit back and realize, oh my goodness, yeah, I drove him crazy. I was not the best. I probably could have done a lot better. I didn't study in college like I needed to. I was just a hot mess. Once you can recognize that, like, hey, it's too late and now I can do better going forward, you start to love yourself. Not only you start to love yourself, you start to realize just how many more people around you love you. How many more people around you depend on you. How precious you are to somebody. You might not have even met that somebody that you're precious to yet, who you're going to mean the world to, but they're there. You might start to realize and cut things out more freely. You might become a Marie Kondo and say, hey, this does not serve me. It does not bring me joy. Goodbye. You know, this, what? Great Value water bottle. I want Dasani now. Great Value isn't serving me. Give me Dasani. You got to go, Great Value. I'm upgrading. I am upgrading every inch of my life. You've got to go. Because in the present moment, you're distracting me. And at the end of all of that, everything that you've gone through, your beginning is just as important as your ending. Your beginning has made you stronger, a lot stronger than you could have ever imagined. Your beginning brings you or allows you to create the reality, the reality and the life that you want, and allows you to elevate your mind. So that is my mirror reading tonight. It was getting kind of deep there. I actually still feel more messages coming in, and I will more than likely be there will be a part two to this, because there are still questions that I'm getting and vibrations that I'm feeling, that there is still more to this. And just like everybody else, I'm so curious now. I want to know more. So I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to film part two. And I will be back with you guys in a little while. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and to turn on the bell so you'll be notified. And I will catch you guys later.